live.
All right.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Talking Stick, episode 25.
There we go.
Have Paul Delgado. I want to say it in Spanish, that's why.
Say it in Spanish.
Yendi. I am Yendi Nieto. I am Guatemalan, Maya from my mom's side.
Johnny Nieto from the Tule River Tribe, along with Paul Delgado, once he logs on. Tribal member also with Tule River Tribe.
He is a behavior specialist, and he helps those that, it's pretty much, I don't want to say how I know it, but.
Say it.
Okay, so he just specializes in behavior with kids and adults. If they may be on the spectrum of autism, maybe communication, they can't communicate well. What were the other ones that we mentioned?
It's all behavior, autism, ADHD.
That one, yeah. And you said he goes to schools. Mm-hmm. They will also do it in-home. They'll do in-home visits. But while we're waiting to connect with him, and he can share more of what he does, we were at, the last event we went to was at the Oxnard. Well, it's the Redbirds Children of Colors powwow that was in Oxnard, California. And the next event we have will be in Fresno. We will be in Fresno City College. It's a Indigenous art exhibit. We will be there with other designers, artists, singers. I know there's going to be the Apache skateboard group will be there. John Paul, he's a singer. He's a country singer. And I'm trying to remember, but that's going to be on the 25th of June. And we have, what is it? Hopefully I post these headbands before that event, but we have some headbands that are new. I have not listed them. And, I think I would just keep those cedar bags for available for those that show up to pop-ups. I'm not going to put those on the website. Kind of keep those exclusive for those that meet up with us. But, you get to see it too. You get to see how big it is, which one connects with you. What else? Maybe until July, August. In October, we will be at
the ACES
conference. That will be in Palm Springs. That's more towards San Bernardino, isn't it?
Yeah, around that general area.
Yeah. Man, it's going to be a travel. That's the furthest. No, we've gone further, but it's been a while since this whole break. But yeah, we've just been doing life stuff, kids, business, trying to catch up on everything.
A lot of ribbon skirts you've been making.
I have been getting a few ribbon skirt orders, ribbon shirts as well. I'm working on a ribbon vest. That one's pretty cool. It's a new little challenge, and I'm making it for a Native veteran. I'm excited for that one because, like I said, it's the first one that I have that I'm making. I need to make a video for that one.
Try and get you on, Paul.
It's not connecting us with him, huh? We see the acceptance.
Ooh, yeah, there you go, bro. We finally got it, man.
Okay, did we all keep ourselves together? Did we all behave well?
No,
did we use our tools to not get angry?
Man.
Yeah.
Out the window, man. The ABC's gone wrong over here.
Yeah. Our technology hasn't caught up to our brains yet.
So early, huh?
Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you for being on here.
Yeah,
for
no
giving
problem.
us your time.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's really, really good what you guys are doing, and I appreciate the invite. Yeah.
I know you're busy. You do a lot. So for you
Yeah.
to set some time up for us, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no problem.
So we'll do the introductions real quick again with you, so you could tell people who you are, what you do, and how you're just killing it lately, man. You're doing like helping a lot of people out in your area too, along with the tribe, of course. Like you had a lot of good stuff that you accomplished, and
Yeah.
it just never ends. You know, it just never ends. But you're still knocking everything down, having more people help you out along the way.
Yeah.
Also hiring too,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that
Yeah.
later.
So yeah, let them know who you are first. Introduce yourself again.
Okay, so I'm Paul Delgado. I'm a tribal member at Tule River Indian Reservation. And I went to school and uh, got my bachelor's at Fresno State. So I got my master's at the Chicago School. It's a professional psychology program. And I went downtown LA. I was there about 3 years. Finished school, and I've been in the field with kids with autism and developmental delays, behavior issues. I work with adults now. Um, Man, I've been everywhere. So like I work with kids with like from 2 year olds to I have adults that are like 50. So
Yeah.
but I've been in the field since 2009. I started, and now yeah, we're here, and I started my company about 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of, I mean, it just took off. So but
Good.
yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, thank
Can
you.
you can you describe what your position title of your business does? Because a lot of people don't know what the behavioral analysis is. Because it's kind of like in the back corner, right?
Yeah.
And you're basically helping them out. Can you describe what that does and how they could join basically within the school systems if they can, right? Me and their kids.
Right, right. So if you get started, if you want to just join and learn what the field is about, it's called behavior analysis. Okay, so that's just the start.
Mm-hmm.
You'll start there. Any kind of like behavior modification, um, you know, uh, behavior management, anything with behavior in it. Yeah, you want to get started there. You can work at the school district. Mainly they work with kids that are, like the kids that, oh, they got to be sent out for timeout or whatever. So you could get your foot in there, and you start there as a behavior interventionist, or they call them therapist, behavior therapist, and then go from there. But um, it entails a lot what I do. um, I could do behavior evaluations, so they're assessments. And I work with insurance companies. I work with private group homes. I work with the school districts. So anytime they call me, it's kind of like, hey, we need an evaluation. So I'll go
Mm-hmm.
conduct an evaluation, and it's all just to find out where the kid's at, his basic levels, and where his skill levels are at, and then I try to write goals for him to improve and to reach
Mm-hmm.
better skill levels. Yeah. And it
Yeah,
could
and
be
that's,
it could be
oh,
just
go.
straight behavior, and this kid is just, throwing fits in the classroom. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's stuff like that. It looks kind of extreme, but I went to a good school, and they
Yeah.
taught a lot. And not only that, it's just the experience too. I just, I sucked it all in. Once I was like a therapist, I was like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the best therapist I can be. Then
Yeah.
I became like a supervisor, and I was like, I want to be the best supervisor I can be. So it's just, I I really I think I got lucky too. I fell into this field, and I found it. It found me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, the rest is history kind of deal.
Yeah, and it's like you get a mobile office too. Like you're always on the go,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing because it's like county to county, state even state to state, but just have to get the billing stuff done, which is cool.
Yeah.
It kind of works its way through, and being mobile, I think, is the best way to go because you don't
Yeah.
get bored, right?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is too, I grew up, I was diagnosed with ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a hyper kid. I played every sport you can play because my parents were like, man,
Burn it
what
off.
do we do with this guy? Yeah. Like, and the doctor at the time, I mean, this is like 80s, early 90s, and the doctors are kind of like, just get him exercise, just get him into sports. So uh, they didn't know, like that brought it out of me, like that brought more ambition, like
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted things in life. And so to go from that to where I'm at, it's because my whole thing was, I think I just changed my mentality too, like from sports to education. And then I put that education mentality to my work. Like, hey, in sports, you want to be the best soccer player or baseball player. So I took that and said, okay, in education, I want to be the best student in the classroom. Then I left and I'm like, okay, now I want to be the best, employee.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Not
but yeah, I mean, and then you're talking about mobile, like, yeah, I work from home. I get to wake up and say, hey, I'm gonna go work with a kid in Avenal. I have
mm-hmm.
kids like in Fresno. I have kids
Mm-hmm.
in Porterville, everywhere.
That's like
So
a 2 to 3 hour drive out here in California where he's at, and yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I get excited about my day because I wake up and I'm like, well, I don't. And maybe they can wait, or maybe I can do better job of their program or something. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm gonna go visit this other family and see how they're
Mm-hmm.
doing, and then I'll go to the other family the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So and if you know about hyperactivity, it's like the kids with ADHD, I mean, we can't sit still. So, I mean, yeah, I wake up, I'm like, okay, where am I going now? And,
Do you follow them? Do you give them the lead?
the kids,
Yeah.
No, he's talking about himself because he said he grew up with ADHD. So
Oh.
he's like, "Where am I going now?"
Oh.
yeah,
That's what he's saying.
Oh.
So he's
no,
like,
but
"Where am I going?" And he's like, "Okay, let's go."
yeah, but you know what? Yendi probably has a point. I probably like, maybe that's why I have a connection with the kids, because usually right away I'll have a connection, and the kid and the parents are like, "Whoa, how'd you do that so quick?" And it's like, well, I can relate, you know? That's probably it.
We speak the same language.
Yeah. And man, I'm a big kid already, so
um, so you do. What are the majority of kids that you work with like? Are they mostly Indigenous kids or the
okay,
adults?
sure. So, initially it was like when I graduated college, I started working and I was like, man, I want to go back to the tribe and I want to do something for them. But, in the beginning, you're kind of getting started and I didn't know, like I wanted more experience. So I got the
Mm-hmm.
experience. I became a licensed behavior analyst. And I was like, okay, I kind of worked my way back to the tribe. And, I took a job I was like in Ventura for like a year. I was in Bakersfield for another year, and then kind of just worked my way back down this way from LA to, the Central Valley. Um, but but yeah, right now I'm working. I do work with kids from the tribe, and anybody else that there's
That's
other tribes
awesome.
as well too. I'm working with that some kids, and I get excited when I do that. Yeah, yeah, it always holds a special place in my heart, because even when we were at the school, Johnny, it was like
Mhm.
I wouldn't have left. I never would have
Yeah.
left. But there's always
Mhm.
circumstances, and sometimes you just got to do what's best for you or your family.
Mhm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers understand this because they're mainly like tribal members also, and they
yeah.
understand how tribal politics work and everything too. So little quick background, like we had on the Tule River Reservation, we had a K through 3 school, which developed into a K through 5 school, and it was
Mm.
going pretty good. The main thing was teaching culture and mainly culture. and the language itself, our language alumni, that was the key thing. And then, of course, reading and math and basically teaching our own history, which was going to be the part of it from K through 5. Also protecting our kids from the public system itself. That was one of the main key factors also. Developing them, because with tribal kids, they're always behind because that we have about a 1 hour to 2 hour daily drive from the school bus to town to the nearest from the reservation to the town. So it kind of incorporates all that in the mix of waking up, getting home late, basically a 12-hour school day. And so we wanted to shortcut everything, which they did. And then Paul was there as the behavioral analysis there, doing his thing of educating the teachers on how, which they do in the school system, that position they have in the school system itself. So which was great to have them in there to basically educate us, meaning the teachers, the staff, and then along with the parents for bridging us all together with keeping the kid behavioral up to date. But it's mainly behavioral, meaning the kid's not learning, the kid doesn't understand or even the words in the classroom, so they act up. It's a simple thing. So I'm saying simple because he kind of developed us. Paul developed and trained us on how to handle the kids. And it worked. Honestly, it worked. But the school system itself with us, it was starting to fall and crumble along, meaning it just grew to something that we weren't ready for, meaning not lack of funding, but more of the passion behind the parents. And then I don't want to say I kind of, once I left, we got like the tribal council. It kind of just like, but I don't want to take that. I'm just part of it. And then along with Paul and all the pillars came down after that. And now the school doesn't exist over that time. But we had a good run, basically. And we did what we were wanting to do, but then the kids got lost along the way because now they're back in the school system and in town. So it kind of was disheartening, but in that short amount of time, we did accomplish and got stuff going. That was the thing, more than talking about. But you need the support of the politics behind you, the parents, and that kind of fell through with it.
Yeah.
That's the short thing.
Yeah. It was, like you said, it was positive. It was challenging in the beginning, but we did some trainings, and once we got some trainings out of the way, it was like, oh, okay, and it's just understanding because behavioral analysis is a little bit different, and you hear it and you're kind of like, whoa, what are you gonna do to me? It's
it looks as a more negative, right? It's a more negative.
Taboo thing.
Yeah. But if you start studying or learn about behavior analysis, it's all about the environment. It's improving your environment. It's not taking away. It's actually adding something positive. So even the way I looked at it when I was at the tribe, I was like, I'm gonna be the reinforcer for you guys. Like for the teachers, for the parents, for the kids. So I just try to, I'm trying to just make everybody happy and keep it positive. And then along the way, we create these policies and create these, guidance to follow and structure for the kids. And it was going good for a while there. Yeah,
creating that bridge and had everything going too, which was good.
Yeah.
Help the kids, help the adults to live a better life and give them a chance to succeed in life, or give them those tools that they'll use as they grow up, and just like you said, make everybody happy.
Well, like with the tribe too, I mean, in general, because I'm out there, right, with tribal people, and it's just once you're teaching the kid like all this stuff, meaning like positive things, and then they have to take this positive home, and then you get to the environment again, not just our tribe, but other tribes too. And what you work with all the time, that the parent has to buy into what you're teaching them. If the parents aren't buying into what you're teaching them, and then it goes back to the resets. So it's kind of like playing the ping pong, what you say, and you have to have them, and then you have to develop the parent too, what you're doing now, right? You have to develop the parent. And we talk about this all the time, like you got to like conquer your fear, or conquer your emotions, and then you're like, come on, kid, come along with me. And it gets hard along the way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And my big deal was like, hey man, I just want, sometimes it's better just to see it. So I know parents, like, they're kind of like, oh, Paul's, behavior analyst, don't talk to him, and it's
It's
like,
crazy.
okay, yeah, he's gonna do something to you,
He's
like,
diagnosing you.
yeah. Listen, so, but, I just took it as like, I understand, it's something new. But once you see progress within your own child or, relative that you're with, it's like, then you start thinking like, whoa, okay, that is good. It's positive what I was doing. There was no, like, I never took away from anybody. Like, oh, we got to suspend them. It's like, no, we're not suspending them. So
Yeah.
we got to work it out here.
Mm.
So, and that was the whole thing. We got to improve the environment at the school, right? Not just, okay, send them home,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they want that, and they just want to be
The
home or
kids,
So
whatever.
that's
oh, yeah.
easier.
But yeah, but it's easier than doing the match here or whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's easier than the paperwork.
I remember too, we actually, when I first got there and we sent a kid home, and then like maybe 30 minutes later, I saw him on his quad, riding the road. I was like, oh, he's going home to have fun. It doesn't even, like, it's not a punishment. It's not
You
nothing. So
rewarded him.
yeah, we rewarded him. Yeah. And that's like behavior. Like, you got to look at it like, what are you doing after the behavior occurs, right? So if he did something wrong, we should do something, not even punish, but just like, hey, just give him a consequence. Like, hey, now you got to do extra homework or something. Okay, but if you send him home and you think you're doing right, but he's riding his quad, he's having fun, you're actually reinforcing his behavior. Because the next day he's going to come, or next few days when he comes back to school, he's going to be like, well, I'll just get kicked out again and I'll go ride my quad. I don't feel like being here.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when it's like all like behavior is all like, it's a cycle. It becomes a cycle. Yeah.
But then, like, you come in as well to create that safe environment where they can talk and you can explain like what they can do, give them the tools.
Yep.
So like next time they shouldn't do it, or what will happen if they do a certain thing, certain behavior. But again, just creating that safe space so when they do go to school, like, okay, I'm safe here. I'll go to Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, let me go talk to Paul. Like, I'm having a hard day. Let me go with Paul. Paul will understand me.
And they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
And you know what? And sometimes it's just the structure of stuff too, because I would just like, hey, well, okay, what do you got to work on? Okay, write them down, or tell me what you got to work. So then they can remember it. So then if they go to, they go back to class, they can remember it better, or even if it's writing it down, it's just a plan that I'm putting in place, really. And it's like, it looks at it that like, it doesn't look bad, but it's goal setting, it's really just goal setting for them. Yeah. Hey, can you get through the day without like telling your teacher, get out of here?
F off.
Yeah.
The res kids, right?
I know. I didn't want to say, but yeah. Yeah, because
but I want to say something. So I know as Yanessa was, growing up, and I saw with my friend, she told me that Yanessa had a speech delay. And so as a first time parent, I kind of got offensive. And I know that a lot of parents will feel this way when Paul will come in and say like, hey, we might have to do something, like something's going on, maybe let's do a test. I know most parents will get defensive, like something's wrong with the kids, and it's not that the parents raised them wrong. I felt the same way. Like, it's not that we did anything wrong, but something might be your kid might need a little extra help to guide them through these things. And I want to tell the parents out there, like, you guys didn't do anything wrong. It's just to help the kids have like these tools to better their lives or help them along the way, so we can avoid or like
fix the problem before it gets
pretty
bigger.
much fix the problem. So with Yanessa, as she got into speech therapy, I came around to the idea. I was like, okay, let's help her out. And she needs help to speak, or she might have had maybe like anger issues because she couldn't communicate with us, and like she feels frustrated. But we started it off, and then we helped her talk. We taught her sign language, and we understood it. We saw what we needed to help her with, and we took some more time with her. And then things started to get easier. It wasn't easy all the way, but we were at least able to help her out and help ourselves out as well. And so I'm trying to give the parents like that comfort of like, don't get defensive. Like, we're just trying to help the kid. And I know that a lot of us don't talk about it now, but we're trying to bring awareness of it with behavior, speech therapy, or maybe even physical therapy. Like, this is just to help the kids and help all of us, help the environment. And some of us adults that have ADHD and we don't even know, that could help you too. And, and so, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out, or bring it up, because just like you said, like, a lot of people will look at you like, oh, you're crazy, but it's just that you're speaking on subjects that a lot of people weren't talking about before.
Yeah.
And it's just like talking about it, bringing it out, and just having like a good conversation and just trying to help.
Shoot, even therapy is a bad word, negative word.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those things that sometimes I come across, and I'll tell you, like, I'll just be straightforward. It just depends, I guess, on the demeanor of the therapist and how they come across. I guess I like to come across and just be straightforward, because I just want to be honest with parents, and I want to be honest with the child. So I want to get to, the help, first. I want to get there as soon as I can. So the earlier, the better. If there's something going on, and you notice, I know it's hard, but because it's part of acceptance, and it's part of, hey, maybe it's not going to hurt to get them checked out, and it was the same. My daughter, she had issues too, growing up talking. And we did talk to a doctor about it, but it was hard on me too in the beginning. I was like, oh, I don't know, what if she, does have speech or autism or something. And so once we talked to a doctor, he was okay, and he just kind of told us, like, if she's still delayed within this time period, then okay, we need to get her checked out. But then she started meeting her developmental milestones and stuff, so we were okay. But yeah, I mean, even me, I was reluctant in the beginning too, and I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel. And you have to have a supportive partner. I think you do with Johnny.
After a few,
not even.
Yeah.
When she was freaking out about it, I was like, just go see Paul. Like, I was more like, go see Paul. And
no,
like,
I need your support, not Paul's support.
No, it was more of like, what are you talking about? You're all rambling in your head and freaking out over it.
Paul will give me the tools.
I'm like, Paul, he does this, right? And she's like, no. And I'm like, just go talk to him. He'll tell you how to handle it. And you did. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I would pick your brain.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got a good resource. Like, go talk to Paul.
Yeah,
it's like business. Like, go talk to Johnny for business stuff. I'm like, all right, let's go.
No, it is, and it is. It's that too, Johnny. Like, you gotta, even in my business, you still have to, like, if you ask for advice, you should probably take most of it, and observe it, and take it with you, because people, if you have good people around you, there's no reason not to trust them. Yeah.
So ego thing gets in the way. It's just like, dude, like they know what they're doing. Just let them do their thing,
Yeah.
So I said I'm a good delegator.
And I think it's one of those things too. But you got to understand that, like, even a doctor, like, we go to a doctor and you're like, oh, I don't know, that wasn't really good advice. So then, go to another doctor.
The rule of three, right? Go see three doctors, whatever.
Yeah, that's so it's the same, like, there's good behavior analysts, and there's some that are okay, I guess, and I don't want, but have to, like, you have to see what's out there, though. At least
Yeah.
ask, because there's
Yeah.
guys like me out there, you know, and
Yeah.
we just care. I just care about the kids. That's it. So,
And like you mentioned before too, like because it's all behavioral, and their behavioral meaning like on the kids, analysis, psychology. Like there's so much different branches out there, and you have to find a certain one that you need for ADHD, autism, right? Those are like certain, like business wise, I'm talking like a nonprofit versus entrepreneur. Like those are whole different markets you have to understand, and
yeah,
you have to like figure out, okay, what do I do next? And it's just like similar to that, but reversed onto a different spectrum. And
yeah,
it's just so it's more of a broad say, but once you find the right specialists, then you
yeah,
go ahead with it.
yeah. And you know what? Like my phone number, I don't know if it's on the website. My email's on the website, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can always call my office line, and I have people call me all the time and just ask me questions. So,
We will share it so people. I was gonna get into this. Like, how can people reach you, or how far out? Like, are you only in your county? Do you
okay.
work with only kids in your county?
Oh, okay. So we work with kids. We are approved through Medi-Cal insurance through Kings County, Tulare County, and Fresno County. So if you have Medi-Cal, any type of medical, we can, yeah, we can support you. Um, and we conduct an assessment right away, and we get the paperwork going. And yeah, um, I have a really good HR that does that, and so she's awesome. And I wouldn't know what to do with the paperwork without her. I'm
So,
straight man behavioral. I'm making clinical decisions, and
okay.
yeah, the admin
That's like
stuff.
me. I handle just the fashion stuff. He handles the business stuff. Like that's him. That's his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me just say, Paul's website is abcstrategies.org. We pinned it in the comments. We'll share it on our once we post this later too.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody have questions, right, they can ask you. They can message you.
Bombard him.
Oh
Allow
yeah,
him to be bombarded.
yeah. I don't mind. Trust
He's
me.
used to it, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Call me
but I'm
weekends.
sorry. Go ahead.
I have people call me like on the weekends. It don't matter. I'm okay, and I really love what I do. So yeah, if you got any questions, just go ahead and reach out.
So I want to ask you a few questions. What are some of the signs that people like uh should see in their kids that maybe they should get them tested?
Okay. The
I know there's gonna be a
initial.
lot, but kind of like
Yeah, I'll
have an
try to put
idea.
it down. Let me see if there's any, like they call it hand flapping. So the kid will
Oh,
kind of go like this. Yeah. That's a pretty good strong indication.
okay.
The other thing is, but you want to be careful with this one. But calling the child's name,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of just still look off. You that might be a sign as well. But you also want to get their hearing checked. It could be a hearing
Uh,
issue. But that's one sign, and the other one is either it's called self-injurious. So some kids will bang their head on the floor.
oh
The
yeah.
and you'll know because they'll bang really hard. It's not soft.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and they'll bang until they're bleeding, and they'll keep doing it. And
Okay.
and then look for extreme tantrums. So if you're just taking
Okay.
away the boy, or you're telling them like go to bed, and they're tantruming for like 30 minutes, and they're so upset, they go to sleep after a tantrum, maybe it wouldn't hurt to get them checked out. Yeah.
Where would one where would one go wherever they're at? Like, would they start off with the doctor
Yeah.
or their pediatrician, and then the pediatrician would then? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and here's another thing about pediatricians. I mean, they're great people, but
All seen it all, man.
I'm sure. I'm
I've
sure you
seen it all.
have.
Different areas and
Oh.
everything.
Enlighten us, Paul.
We don't know, right? We don't know.
But sometimes they're stuck in their ways too, and they might
Mm.
say, "Well, no, there's
Their
nothing."
mom.
if you think something is wrong, then it's up to you. You're the parent, you know, take them to another pediatrician and get a second opinion. Because there's been issues or, you know, concerns like that have come up. And, you know, I get a kid that's 2 years into it and they're like, well, my doctor never told me. So, and sometimes it's the doctor. They don't want to get them diagnosed because they don't want them, you know, it could be whatever issue the doctor has. Yeah.
And sometimes the school will even do it, right? The teachers or counselors will catch it.
Referral.
Oh,
Or referral.
sure. So they do their own evaluation at the school, and that's like an IEP. They call it individual education plan. But they might see it and say, well, hey, and but the parent still has to take them to a pediatrician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because you want a referral from the pediatrician to go to get a diagnosis or some type of evaluation. Yeah. There's a really good agency in Visalia. They're called Central Valley Regional Center.
That's what I think.
There you go. Yeah. So you want to get a referral to go there, or you can just call them and just say, hey, I'd like my son or daughter to be evaluated.
That's what I did with Yanessa.
Yeah.
I contacted them.
So I did with my wife.
You're next. I need to have Johnny evaluated.
I got to conduct behavior assessment on Johnny.
He's already been the whole hour.
He has the whole report. Every visit you've ever had with him. He has the new paper, new notes on your file.
Bring new notes in. Every visit. Signed and everything.
I know.
But you know, when we've hung out, I don't think about that. I'm just there to have fun or, you know, just hang out. Like, I didn't think about, like, is Paul judging me right now? Is he looking at my, like, parenting skills or how I'm talking?
I told him so. I signed the paper and got a copy.
No, I don't know. I think sometimes I catch myself looking at but I don't. I'm like, hey, I'm not working right now. Like I go on my own thing, you know. But I think that's part of you know, like
what your friend did to you. Like,
yeah.
What you said your friend did
with Yanessa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was working when she shouldn't have, but
it helped.
It was a good help. Because she works with special kids, special need kids, and I don't know. She was just playing with her, and then she goes, "Oh, she should be saying more words." And I was like, "No, she's fine." But yeah, that's how she told me about it. But she's a teacher, so she knew.
Yeah. Even my son right now, he's 14 months, and we had a doctor tell us that, oh no, he should be talking right now, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know, you know, and he's babbling, but he's only 14 months, so, and all my other kids, they didn't start talking till after 2, so yeah, but that was something new. I didn't know. But I think the doctor was being a little bit more proactive, and so that's what I mean about, like, sometimes it's good to get just a second opinion and about doctors. Yeah,
I know we talk about that all the time. Me and you, like the age limit when we go to schools, and they're talking like, oh, this kid, 7-year-old kid or 6-year-old kid needs to do like dual immersion. They're like pounding on them. We're like, dude, calm down. It's just a kid. Like, us as adults, we wouldn't get that at all either. Like, relax, man.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And I'm sure that's how it is everywhere.
Yeah, it is. But standard.
Like, I know we have access to internet and all this stuff now, and it's like, oh yeah, my kids should be learning Spanish and English now. Oh yeah, my kids should be learning whatever, you know, and so. I don't know. For me, it's one language at a time, and I'm not a fan of the dual immersion, but I know for some kids it's really good for them. So, yeah.
I'm glad that we're talking about this, because just bringing more awareness and having an open conversation about it, and letting those that are listening in to get a better understanding of it, and maybe helping somebody else out there. But somebody commented on it about this. Brenda, she said, we did in-school suspension where they went to another classroom, but they still had the work to do. Parents were called in and had to come in for a student success team meeting. We needed to really sincerely focus on the reasons why, so we could provide what the parents and students needed to help their child succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, thank you for addressing these issues.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty good. What she went to school where she went to school, because the student success team is really good, because you're getting the parent there, you're getting the principal, the teacher, and the student, you know, and other behavior specialists or speech
the disciplinary people, right, who understand and know.
Yeah, and like you said, disciplinary, but it's not. We're there to help.
They all know.
Game plan.
Yeah, yeah. And once you do these success teams, they're kind of like, they put it in writing that, you know, oh, we're gonna work on this X, Y, and Z, you know, and the child, hopefully we can improve on this behavior. Maybe he's having a bad recess time or something, or just in the classroom. Yeah. Sometimes you go to these things too, and it's like, oh, Johnny's having an issue with some kid, and it's like one kid that they keep fighting with each other or arguing or whatever. And sometimes it's just a simple, like, hey, sit them somewhere else. That's it.
And you got to be there, huh? It's like, what are you guys doing? Just change the opposite of the classroom, you know? Someone sit there.
Yeah, sometimes it's something simple like that. Sometimes it's you know, the kids, they're jealous of one another, and you know, yeah, and they want attention from the teacher. That's it. You know, sometimes you give a little bit more attention to one kid, and it causes issues. So
yeah, I had experience on that. I told you about it. Doing first grade. I was teaching first grade, and then I had to discipline some kid there, or one of our kids there. And then the kid walks up to me, hey, can I get in trouble too? They just wanted attention. I was like, no. I was like, you're getting a timeout. You walk all happy. Just messing with him. Like, no, you're all right. Just messing with him. And he's like, yeah, can I get in trouble too? And just because he was out of the mix, he wanted to be included. And I was like, no, you're all right, buddy. Like, you don't got to worry about that. It's like, I got you, man. But yeah, that was funny. That thing right there.
Yeah, but I think sometimes too, you see that stuff, Johnny, and you notice it, you know, and but some people don't, you know, and sometimes that's part of my job too. I point things out, like, oh no, it's probably just this, you know, and it's not a bad thing. Like, you're a bad teacher, you know. It's like it's like you got a classroom full of kids, you know, like
30 kids, whatever. You got to handle it, you know.
Yeah,
difficult on them too.
Yeah. So, but I know some teachers think like, oh, here comes Paul, you know. It's like he's gonna correct this, but sometimes they need it.
Yeah, we got a lot of history with the schools, so that's why it's funny just talking about it. I mean, just different areas, because I'm more community based, and then Paul's like more the enforcer based, because he knows the structure, of course. So we work our game plans along with other people too, within the school systems before. So now he's off with his own business. Once he took off from the tribe, and he was in that mindset of I'm going to do it, or I'm going to do it on my own, which a lot of tribe people don't get to say. And he's one of them that got to say it as a, educator himself. And he got to, not just live off the tribe, but, live off himself, doing things that he wants to do. A lot of free time, and not free time, but a lot of free time on his own to help out in a bigger mass majority for the kids around now.
Yeah.
But I know he still has some place in his heart of, oh, I want to help the tribe out, which all of us do. Every tribal member out there, they go to school, we go to school to do better for our tribe. Then you're throwing with all these, different, what do you call them, obstacles that you have to get through that don't even belong there. And that's what we talk about with the kids too, just being trapped in there when they don't really need to be trapped in there. So me myself, I'm a bold person who I like to push things because it's not that it's an imaginary line. These are just things in place that to keep you whipped into a structure where just go out and live life. That's the main thing. And once you understand and develop around, it gets simple. It's a whole different life.
Yeah, I mean, even just life experience itself.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I lived in Fresno, I lived in LA, and different towns and stuff, and you come back and you're like, oh, I remember Porterville School District. I grew up there, so it's like, but they're very similar to when I left. So, you know, it's educating them too, but yeah, you see a lot of things that, like, man, they should have changed by now. They should be updated, and but not necessarily. If they're the same people and they've been there for all this time, yeah, who's gonna help them or who's gonna improve the classroom? So, and I think I used to look at it like that too, like, oh, you need to change now, like it's for the kids, but you gotta, like, you gotta get buy-in with the teachers too, and you gotta get their understanding and get their point of view, and they could be stressed out too, and
Don't blame them. Right?
I'm sure they are.
So now it's just about I like to keep a good relationship with them and teachers, and because in the long run I'm just there for the kid too, and we're all there for the same reason. It's just things get in the way sometimes.
All those plans too, the IE plans.
I
had to go sit in with classrooms too, and just like I was telling the kid, I know the kid, family-wise. I'm like, why am I here? I'm just sitting next to you and sitting in the 8th grade class. I'm like in an English class, like just asking her, like, why am I here in the back corner with you? And like, isn't it the teacher's job to teach you instead of me teaching you right here with IE? I'm like, I'm just questioning. And the kids just listening, like, it's making sense to them. Like, yeah, like, kind of like, why are you here? Just like, I'm just like asking them. They've never been asked before. Well, I guess the people are just sit there like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and get paid, whatever. But I'm like, I could be doing something else right now, and I'm just like, what's going on? Oh, nothing. I like to get in trouble. I'm like telling me the whole story.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, can't you just sit here? Because I'm like, all you gotta do is get by, right? Just sit here and listen, and then more of a hi, bye. And I always tell like the native kids, they understand. I'm like, just sit there, hi, bye, flip them off on the way out, and just like go on with your day. Like, why do you have to say stuff and just mess with people? I mean, I get it, I understand what you're doing, but I'm just like,
it's ADHD.
I know, I understand what you're doing, I get it, but I was just like, relax, right? Let's just go day by day, take your time, and if you don't understand something, just let me know. And they never got questioned before, or even had to let thought for themselves. Really, that's what she was thinking. Like, she never thought for herself instead of people telling her what to do and all that. And she started critical thinking, is what I was getting at her. And then she passed on her own. I wasn't sitting there. Like 2 days there, I'm not being here, dude. I told her.
But
she's graduated now. That's how long it's been from high school.
And sometimes though, Johnny, that's you being there is an intervention itself. Positive one, and you helped her think and be like, why am I here? Why? I could do this on my own, she probably figured.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what she was saying.
Yeah. So no, the work, even though that's what people don't understand too, like, oh, well, what are you doing? You just go in the classroom, and no, in there talking to the teacher and talking to the student is an intervention. And if it's positive and things turn around, yeah, it's working. It's a good intervention. So,
but it's the thing too that we talk about how I could get away with that because that's like a cousin or something where I'm actually talking about with the non-tribal member who's in there and just asking the same thing. Like they wouldn't be able to get away with it, and that's what's hard about it because you want the kid to succeed, but then it's the employee, better word, can't really do things that tribal member employees could do because that's
yeah,
their family and they have a different understanding at the level.
yeah.
It's something that's unique about it too. Right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's it's a good thing though because have you have like it's called like what is it, integrity, or good ethics, whereas somebody else would just be like, you need to finish school or be mad at them.
Oh yeah, a different understanding, right? Of delivery, different delivery too.
Yeah, yep,
That's the main thing.
yep. And sometimes they just want to hear that positive stuff too. Like, oh man, I'm gonna go home and I gotta go to after school program after this and all this stuff.
Come see me.
Yeah, kids get tired too, man. My son goes to after school program, but he goes 2 days a week, and he does not like it. But we want him there, and we want to make sure his grades are good and he's working hard. But 2 days he does not like being there, and it's like an hour extra after school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I can imagine kids go every day. It's like, whoa, it's hard on them,
It is. I talk to them because I handle more of the middle school, high school kids who get there at get back on the reservation like 4:30 ish, and then they're taking an hour of their day to figure out something like that. If you have you just need a break, just relax. I'm not trying to pressure you. I mean, if your homework's done, your homework's done, or you need help with something else, or just life in general. I'm like, just not pressuring you. It is after school program, but I'm like, I get it. Same thing. I tell them, I understand what you're going through. Like that hour bus ride up here is a killer on you, and then you got to go back into school wise. Nah. Just the options, exploring. Most kids read, or most kids now are all on their phones, but we don't got no reception on the res, so deal with it. Cut the Wi-Fi out and everything. So
Is
you have more of an advantage.
Is it out right now or what?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you're just joking.
Sometimes it's out, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta. Sometimes too, kids just need a break too. Don't be having them there every day, and it's Friday. They should go relax and not worry about schoolwork. Sometimes they just need a break and recharge. Because I put a lot of pressure on my kids. So, and sometimes, you just need to step back and see what you're doing, see if it's helping the situation. Then it's better just to kind of okay, no, give them a day off. I mean, take them buy them ice cream, something.
Connect with them. Sit there with them.
What?
Yeah,
what?
connect with them.
What?
I swear, all the topics or everything that we've been talking about resonates with raising your kids, like parents that raise their kids with respectful parenting. It's just like we need to give these kids the tools to control their behaviors or understand something or share or play. It's like we need to help them, give them the tools no matter what it is. And but we also have to give them their space. Like if they want to do something dangerous or risky, you got to watch from a distance. You can't always protect them, so they can develop those skills within themselves and that confidence within themselves. So I can see the connection, how it is with but I feel like if they have any learning disabilities, I just feel like that's the next level. It's okay, we need to give the kids tools, but then some other kids may have a little challenge, so that's just like the next level of like helping them out. Like, but I can see the resemblance of it all. So I was like, okay, I get it.
It's a good point, Yendi, but you're inaccurate.
You're next. I'm not gonna give you the tool. I'm gonna let you struggle. Paul, don't give him any advice.
It's messed up.
But
no, sometimes it's like, I mean, just imagine, like I never was taught like how to manage my stress, so I get stressed out too, and
a lot of us do.
Yeah, a lot of us, and we don't realize, like, hey, just going for a walk, or taking your son to ride his bike, or just sitting at the park with them, talking to them, it can really do you a lot of good, for your mental and your health. Get to know
some push-ups. I always see people do that. Oh man, I'm so pissed. I gotta put this energy somewhere and knock out some push-ups or something. They do.
Exercise is good, always good. But yeah, I mean, the mental part is just as important, and sometimes it's just, you laugh at the things your kid's gonna tell you, and it's like, whoa, and sometimes they're so adult you don't even know it, because you don't talk to them enough, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they have a lot of good intelligence in there. Yeah.
So I want to slowly wrap it up. Did you want to touch up on anything? Speak up of something, or
your business wise again, just so they know?
Yeah, I mean, I just really want to take home that, we're all parents now, and we're getting older, and the main thing is, like, just do what's right. Try to do what you think is right for your kid. Leave your ego at the door when it comes to your kid. I always, like, and I'm not perfect either, but like, sometimes it's just doing crazy stuff with my daughter, or making designs or coloring with her, or whatever. It can go a long way as they become adults, because now people get stressed and they have anxiety and all these things, and it stems from their childhood. So if they have an adult that loves them and shows them love, I mean, they can always go back to you when they get older, and they'll know you're going to be there. Yeah.
Quit whispering in my ear.
I'm telling him you gotta show love to the kids. I was telling him that. I was like, you need to let them know that you're there for them. Like, you can't just push them away. He's like, no, go to your room. I'm like, don't do that. Then they're not gonna feel safe and tell you anything. He's like, good, I don't want them to tell me anything. I was like,
no.
All that is just to mess with her.
That's messed up. See, then you're gonna get me stressed out. I'm gonna be all depressed.
No, I think
I got pills for that.
I was told, like, I can't remember how many times somebody told me, hey, Paul, I love you. You're doing a good job. And so I really, hey, when it comes out of my mouth now to my kids, I'm like, it sounds weird. I feel awkward. Like,
you'll get over it.
But I do it. I force myself. I push myself to do it, because it just.
Yeah, you gotta force yourself to do that to me.
One of the I can relate.
Yeah, you can relate.
That with
me.
No, with apologizing to Yanessa. If I like yelled at her or got mad at her, I will then go back and say, you know what, I'm sorry. And, I shouldn't have done that. And it just felt like, oh, this is so hard. And sometimes I don't know what to say or how to say it, but I at least try. So then I get into that motion. Because then I remember, I was like, okay, I need to show Yanessa how to communicate. So then that way, as she gets older, it's easier for her and me. Right.
Yeah.
So, I still feel like that. I was like, oh, this is so hard to do. But I'm trying.
You don't never apologize to Johnny, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
She's like, oh, I can't do this.
I'm practicing with my kids first, and then I'll go. Then years later, I'll apologize to him.
That's messed up. There you go. Analyze that down. Mark that down on your paper right there.
I think that's why he's looking down, huh?
Got it right. Already memorized.
Yes, it's all right here.
Yeah.
Good catch.
I'm gonna set up a scenario next time I see you guys. Set up a scenario.
Go.
Have a game plan.
Yeah.
Academic game plan he likes.
No. These topics could go on forever, and just like you said, like every behavior, learning, I wouldn't say disability, but you know, there's so many things that it can go into, and what things stem from, either from like your childhood, your trauma, and then like get passed it down to kids, or environment, or
Spiritual trauma.
Spiritual, even that too, that comes into play too. And so I'm glad that we were able to talk on what we could today. And maybe next time we see you, we'll go into other conversations or topics about that, because it's a good conversation. Good,
and for Yendi's report.
for her book?
Yeah, her book report.
But I'm glad we were able to come on here and bring awareness, share your what is it, like, words, knowledge, and we'll share your website, your Instagram. Do you have an official Instagram? Oh, listen, this one, right?
Yeah, but this is just my personal one, but I don't have the yeah.
So we'll share that on there.
Contact here too. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody has any questions or don't know where to start on something.
abstrategies.org.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Delgado.
Paul Delgado.
Gotcha. From Tule River, also tribal member. Gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll share that on there. So
soccer too. Questions. He got you soccer. He's a good soccer coach, man. He's the legend over here. I mean,
that's a whole nother conversation, man.
That's a whole different passion right there. If you want to know about soccer, he's got you.
Yeah, I played in college, and I've been playing since I was 4, and I recently went to Portugal, and I was working with some coaches down there, some professional coaches. Yeah, soccer's like my I love soccer. So
ADHD at its finest. You got it. He said.
I never slowed down. I'm telling you, I never ran out of energy. So.
Man.
Right.
Wait. Quick question.
Right,
now wait. What did your parents think about it? Like, now as your youth and did they believe that you had ADHD, or like how do they see it now versus before?
I think back then it was hard for them, just because I was bouncing off the walls. I was like, I would get suspended from school. I was like, cussing at the teachers. I was doing all these things, and so it was hard for them. And they understood once I was diagnosed, but it was still, I still did things like, just spontaneous. It was just, I would flip a teacher off, whatever, and it's like, yeah. So but I think now, I would say they probably look at it like, oh, actually it was a blessing, because I don't think I could do half the stuff I do without all the energy, and and the mindset I created from like soccer, school, and just being athletic, I hope they're proud of me. No, they
I'm sure they are.
I don't hear it from them because
I don't hear nothing. Hey, Paul, you should do this. You should do that. You should do this. Oh, okay. I'm tired.
You should tell him a little more.
That's funny.
Okay, Paul.
Man,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
We'll knock you out at abcstrategies.org. Paul Delgado again. He got you.
Okay, cool.
Got you. All right, well, see you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we out.